Sarah Palin recognized the widow of Chris Kyle this past week after she appeared on a country awards show. Palin wrote on Facebook, quote, Taya Kyle shows her strength and grace again last night at the ACM. This beautiful American woman introduced a patriotic tribute to our troops called All-American Kid. Thank you to the country music community for boldly supporting our military vets and their families. And happy birthday to my favorite vet just 2 days after his little brother's birthday. I'm undeservedly blessed with some great men in my life, unquote. Palin, of course, referring to Track Palin and Trig Palin. Later in the week, she posted, celebrating the boys' birthdays in new snow on April 20th. Trig takes another lap on his restored 88 Elon, thank you, Garrett and Ellie, while enjoying his climate change, also known as seasons. 100% human-caused global warming? What a racket. A money-making, politically driven tool that ignores history to enable control freaks mandates that fundamentally transform your lifestyle and stall American progress. Well, happy birthday, sons. May you and your generation never cave to Al Gore and his liberal idiotic ilk as elitists pretend to play God, claiming they control Mother Nature. They can't predict this afternoon's weather, but foolishly demand trust in their supernatural power to predict it 5,000 years from now. Stay strong, boys. We need men like you to undo what's been done to our country under liberal control. Meanwhile, enjoy the snow. Some nice recognition for a Palin friend. The governor posting on social media, quote, congratulations to our friend Mary Lou Whitney, philanthropist, horse lover, member of a celebrated horse racing dynasty, and wife to a great Alaskan. She'll be honored by Churchill Downs Racetrack as First Lady of the Oaks. Mary Lou is a pioneer in so many arenas, and her charitable heart has made life better for so many people. Palin also includes a link to an article on Whitney. And late in the week, Palin wished the Duck Commander a happy, happy, happy birthday, posting a great picture of the Palins with Phil Robertson and his wife. The Duck Dynasty patriarch celebrated his birthday this past weekend. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and head to sarahpalinchannel.com.
Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Kolbert.
Obama's executive action rollouts are increasing at breakneck speed. You know, he didn't really use the words executive action except for after 3 years into his presidency. But now these executive actions are just becoming routine, almost a daily occurrence. Just last week, he rolled out a package of 8 executive actions related to climate change. And those actions are supposed to be implemented by 7 different government agencies. Okay, so Obama's using his pen and phone strategy, and it certainly shows no signs of letting up, at least not for the last year and a half of his presidency. Because, of course, the Republican-led Congress isn't passing any of this, so Obama's looking for ways to go around them, to subvert the rule of law. What's interesting is that after researching this week, I found that Obama's pen and phone actions are very similar to the strategy that paralleled the Clinton White House, when in his last 2 years in office, President Clinton tried to flex his political muscle by also looking for ways to exert his authority without actions going through Congress. But to quote Obama, I've got a pen and a phone, and that's all I need, because with a pen, I can take my own executive actions. What we have forgotten is that one of the most important roles of Congress is to serve as a check and balance against the administration. We've seen from this Obama administration many, many times where they have overstepped their legal authority. And at least 20 different times, the Obama administration has had the Supreme Court rule unanimously against those executive actions. Politicians avoid all this difficult work when they create regulatory agencies to do the work for them. Such an approach to lawmaking just represents this complete dereliction of duty, because not only is the end result ineffective, but it limits individual liberty and it's expensive. This is the perfect example of another failure of government to operate in the interests of its citizens. John Locke, whose writings helped the founders shape and write the Constitution, has a lot to say about this kind of government, and it isn't good. Quote, the legislative cannot transfer power of making laws to any other hands, for it being but a delegated power given from the people. Legislators who have it cannot pass it over to others. The people cannot be bound by any of these laws except by those representatives the people have chosen and authorized to represent them. Our nation today is at a critical crossroads. Do we give up? Do we just let things go and have the status quo? Or do we decide that we, the people, are the most important check and balance? We are America. It is you. It's me. And together, oh my goodness, we are powerful. We are amazing. We are entrepreneurial and passionate. And we are honorable. We are truthful. It's time for you and me to choose liberty and to proclaim that we are going to be the people to freely govern ourselves. And the only way we can do it is Article 5. We must use this constitutional remedy to stop the runaway federal government. We have to do it now. The Constitution and our rule of law must apply equally to everyone, politicians and citizens alike. We must stop the culture of cronyism in Washington, D.C. It is going to be hard work, but together, you and I can do it. We can do it with our state legislators through Article 5. I am inviting you to go to conventionofstates.com today. Sign the petition encouraging your legislator to pass their Convention of State application that has been filed to date in 36 states. We've already made history. Let's just keep going. Join me. This is Tamara Kolbert for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tamara Kolbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. Now our weekly commentary, Steel Resolve. Here's Sarah Steelman.
Thanks, Kevin. The Wall Street Journal had a well-worth-reading article this weekend entitled How to Save American Colleges. It is an interview with Purdue President Mitch Daniels, who is actually worried about the cost of college tuition. As his first act as president of Purdue, he froze their tuition. Part of the reason costs keep increasing is student loans. The money is available to potential students, and they take advantage of it. After students graduate, many are carrying a huge debt, which has to be paid off in the future. Student debt has now topped $1 trillion and continues to rise. Some question whether some college degrees are worth incurring huge amounts of debt. There's also another economic issue that is rarely discussed but should be considered. As more and more students incur student loan debt, it will crowd out future consumption and investment that hurts the productive growth of our economy in the long run. Just like a huge national debt crowds out private investment, student debt for an individual and the collective level does the same. It also explains why recent graduates delay starting a family or buying a house. Those actions have been crowded out by debt. In the long run, debt hurts our economy because it crowds out the ability to create, innovate, and invest in order to produce future jobs for our families. This is Sarah Steelman for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in again next week for another segment of Steel Resolve right here on the Palin Update. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy and Steel Resolve, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook and follow along on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Kolbert, at Sarah_Steelman, and at 3DSTS. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I want to thank Sarah Steelman, Tamara Kolbert, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to R. Lee Ermey, and thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, 3D Security and Training Academy. Visit 3dsta.com. The Palin Update is produced by Lena Anderson, the Andy L. Kramer, and Lori Ann Lewis. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update right here on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.